Tuesday, guys. Welcome to Puck Time. I am starting the show today. Andrew McInnes is off today. I'm going to say he's suffering from an upper body injury, but we all know it's from last Tuesday's show where him and Prez went mano a mano. He might not have recovered, or maybe he's just protesting Tuesdays, but we've got Prez on today, and we're going to talk Carolina, Detroit, Columbus, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, and Colorado. We've got a slew of pretty good games. Obviously, there is no prop playlist today, but we will have some best bets at the end of the show to discuss. And I'll be throwing a few questions the Prez's way because I want to know his connection with the Leafs, of course. And I've got a couple questions with him with regards to that. But let's welcome him to the show on $5 Tuesdays at WagerTalk. Perez, good morning.
My man, how are you, my friend? Nice to be here. Excited that Andrew is not here. No, that's not true. Andrew's so good at this. Him and you, your two favorite crappy teams played against each other last night. Were you guys tweeting back and forth or DMing or texting or WhatsApping or FaceTiming or calling or faxing or telexing?
Yeah, I was actually trying for the reverse mush. I posted a picture of a bingo card when it was Montreal 3-0 in that game and tagged Andrew in it. And then lo and behold, the Sabres come back, tie the game up with the goalie pulled 3-3, send it to overtime, and then do what the Buffalo Sabres do best, which is lose. So the Montreal Canadiens pick up 2 points, stay in that playoff race, Prez. It is exciting. The Eastern Conference is getting exciting. You look at the teams that are still involved. Columbus, who we're going to discuss. Columbus averaging a little over 5 goals per game in their last 4 games, all wins. We're going to discuss that in a few minutes. Detroit may be tailing off after a couple of back-to-back losses, and they've got Carolina up, and we're going to discuss that as well, too. But I have a question for you, and it has nothing to do with the Leaf game last night against San Jose. Not every team is going to win every single game here enough. You're going to drop games along the way, but it is the thing of, do you think the contract for Mitch Marner is hanging over the Leafs? I'm listening to a little bit of talk radio here in Toronto, and you know that they always cover it, 100% coverage of the Leafs, and they talk about when do you offer him a contract, or do you offer him a contract, or wait till to send him to free agency? Do you wait till after the playoffs and see how free agency plays out, or do you pay him that 11, 12, or 13 million? Who holds, as the guy on the radio said, actually, I like this phrase, who holds the hammer in this one, Toronto or Mitch?
Firstly, Carm, you mentioned, is it hanging over the Leafs? If it is, let it hang, baby. Leafs are 38-20 on the year, top of their division, and have won 5 out of their last 6 games. If that is what it takes to be that good, hang, baby, hang. That's number 1. Number 2, free agency, salary caps, etc., affect teams differently. If you're a team like the Calgary Flames or the Columbus Blue Jackets and you lose a superstar and it frees up $12 million of cap space, it doesn't matter. No other superstar is racing to Calgary to fill that $12 million void. If you're sitting in Toronto and you lose a $12 million player, ho-hum, you sign another one. So from my perspective, we'll go get ourselves a great defenseman. With that said, I love Mitch Marner. I think Mitch Marner is the beating heart of the Leafs, and I hope they sign him. And I hope they sign Tavares too, who's having the absolute best season we've seen him in a long, long time. But if they don't sign him, they don't sign him. Ultimately, I care about this year. I think there's something special brewing in Toronto this year. I'm not suggesting that they win the cup, but they are definitely a major cup contender. I'm not even focused on the Mitch Marner signing. I hope they sign him. If they don't, that's okay. We have Willie and Austin, and we'll find somebody else. And when push comes to shove, bro, our goaltenders are unbelievable.
Yeah, no, they are. And everyone has an off night. I think we saw it against Pittsburgh. But with that said, for you guys in the chat, and thank you for the comments that you guys are putting forth. Hit that subscribe button, and of course, hit the like button. I'll ask for it earlier. This seems to be the kindler, gentler Prez. So I've got to throw one more at you. Give me your thoughts on the long-term injury reserve, Prez. How do you like it?
Well, firstly, Jared Dulaba is like, Prez, get your heads out of the clouds. No chance, dude. Where do you think high heads go? I love being in the clouds. Who doesn't? And then he says Toronto is a joke. What does that mean? What's the punchline? Anyway, I don't even understand. Like the whole city? I'm assuming he means the Leafs. Yeah, they are a joke. Okay. Big deal. Who cares? As far as the long-term injury, listen, Carm, it's a rule. It's a rule that's going to be changed. There's no way that this thing continues forever. It is so stupid. Between the Chicago Blackhawks and their Stanley Cup winning days and the Tampa Bay Lightning and Vegas and now Florida, a unbelievable amount of Stanley Cup winners have won the Stanley Cup $10 million or so above payroll. And that, frankly, is just not fair. There's no way that anyone is saying to me that Matthew Tkachuk is, you got Paul Maurice saying he will 100% be playing in the playoffs. So clearly he's not as injured as people are saying. You got Evander Kane sitting in Edmonton. He's literally ready to play. He's on the ice. He's skating. And the team have said to him, we don't want you to come back until game one so that we can take your $5.5 million salary and pay it to somebody else and then stack the team for game one. Evander Kane is saying, well, that's not right. I haven't played all year. I want to get warmed up. I don't want to just show up for the playoffs. Now there's a standstill in Edmonton between Kane and the Oilers because of this mechanism, this cheating mechanism. You know, ultimately, am I annoyed? Am I annoyed that Toronto had to deal with Tampa Bay twice with them having $10 million extra payroll? Sure, I'm annoyed. It is a stupid rule. It makes no sense. Let's get into some actionable betting information. Thank you, Brady Horn. I love you too, bro.
And there you have it, guys. You know I love to cook, and when I'm cooking, I'm stirring the pot, and we've clearly done that with the Prez here. Okay, let's jump right into it. Carolina and Detroit. Carolina opens at minus 160. It is steamed up to minus 200 now, plus 170 on the Wings at home at Little Caesars. Prez, you look at this one, and I understand it. Back-to-back losses for Detroit. They've been playing well. But the Canes just don't play well on the road. You look at their record on the road, and it's nothing spectacular. Is it still good enough to go into Detroit and beat the Red Wings tonight?
You know, Carm, ultimately we can all sit here and say, oh, yeah, for sure, take Edmonton minus 350 against Anaheim tonight. The line is really the factor here. And is Carolina good enough to go into Detroit and win? Yes, absolutely. Of course they are. Are they good enough to go into Detroit and win 2 out of 3 times? Not really. Or 2 out of 4. Well, 2 out of 3. Plus 165 for Detroit. There is value there, Carmine. This is a team that is only 5 wins less than Carolina. And a team, although they've lost 2 in a row, both against Columbus, they dominated that last Columbus game. They outshot Columbus 46-20. What's happening in Detroit is that their goaltending is just god-awful. They allowed Columbus 10 goals over a 2-game span. In their last 7 games, they've allowed 5, 5, 2, 4, 4, and 6. That's 4+ goals in 5 of their last. It's actually 4+ goals in 6 of their last 7 games. 4+ goals. It's really hard to bet on a team that is allowing an average of 4 or more goals a game in their last few weeks. I'm going to look at taking the over in this game, Carm. Although I do think there's value on Detroit, I think the better bet is the over. And I understand that Carolina is an under team. I get it. 24, 33, and 4 on the year to the under. And recently playing to the under. They beat Calgary 2-1. They beat Edmonton. They lost to Edmonton 3-1. But man, here the bottom line is we know Detroit's going to let goals in. We know Carolina's getting at least 3 tonight. And yes, I recognize that Carolina has a good defense, but not the defense that we saw over the last few years. I mean, Edmonton put up 3, Buffalo put up 2, Montreal put up 4, Toronto put up 6, Utah put up 3. This team hasn't shut anybody out in months. Their best performance was the 1-goal performance against Calgary, and that was an outstanding performance, but Calgary had scored 0 goals in the 2 games prior to that. So I think that's slightly phony, and they only put up 16 bloody shots against this Carolina team. I lean on Detroit. I really like the over in this game a lot. That's where I'm going. What about you, brother?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't want to take the side here. I'm kind of hoping for a Detroit win in this one, but it's. I think the over is the better play. You know, you look at Carolina, 4 straight losses on the road. Listen, good teams they played in those 4 games, but still outscored 15-4, shut out in 2 of those games. You have to figure they need to get it going. If you want to win in the playoffs, you got to learn to win on the road. And this is something that's hung over this team the last few years in the playoffs. Come playoff time, they win on home ice. They play phenomenal on home ice, and then they can't seem to win on the road.
Yeah.
And they're bounced out of the playoffs, whether it's in the conference semifinal, divisional finals, or in the conference finals. Kochetkov hasn't looked absolutely sharp for them. I think Detroit gets theirs. I think they bounce back from those couple losses to Columbus, and we see some goals here. I think over 6 is the right play here. So I agree with you on that one, Prez. Guys, today's $5 customer appreciation day. Yep, go ahead.
No,
Customer
please.
appreciation day at WagerTalk. You can get as many cappers as you want for $5. They got $5 plays up. Some great promos in there, including I think a 10-day flex package, which allows you to move from capper to capper. If they've got a big play on a certain day and you want to grab that capper, the flex package is the way to go. And then I've got a promo up as well too, which I'll mention shortly. But I need to hear from the Prez first because I think you have a little rebuttal on the Detroit game, or you want to move on to the second game?
No. I what I want to mention is, listen, we're on social media, and and we do a lot of YouTube videos and tweet out and whatnot. And as a result, look, there are people that are angry at us for some reason. We get scammers, douche, this, that, and the other. I can deal with anything, Carm. It never bothers me at all. The bottom line is people who start with us demonstrate the dark sadness that lives inside of them. What does bother me is when people put our integrity on the line, when people question our work. John Gagnotti, my brother, he gets into the chat room and he writes, "Hi guys, for all due respect, Presman, his picks were very bad." John, I'm assuming English is not your first language, which is fine. I mean, it's not my first language. So, many people in the world do not speak English. To correct you, it's, hey guys, with all due respect, not for. It's with, not for. And also, we don't change tenses when we speak in English, but that's okay. What he's saying is my picks are very bad. And Carm, I'm assuming, given his grammar, that he doesn't understand the definition of bad. So I would like to explain what bad means. I am the #1 most profitable expert in NHL at WagerTalk. I am on a 7-2 run. That's 7 wins and 2 losses. I'm on a 32-16 run. 32 wins, 16 losses. I have made huge profit for my clients in the NHL season. My 4% plays are on an 8-2 run at over 61% this year. I don't understand what he means by my picks are very bad. So, John, in any language you want, I got Google Translator. Explain to me how my picks are really bad, because I don't like when people come on here and I don't like when they question my integrity or your integrity or WagerTalk's integrity. That's all. By the way, Carm, I have an NHL 4% play tonight is my customer appreciation play. And I think John G should get his tuchus over there and purchase it for making up some bullshit. Okay, lots of love.
All right, I would like to take this moment to thank Andrew McInnes for not being on today's show to pick up where we left off. Thanks you, Andrew. I really appreciate it. All right, Columbus and Tampa Bay. We talked about Tampa Bay on the show yesterday against Florida. I thought the under was the right play in that one, and it turned out to be the right play. Two teams playing absolutely phenomenal defensive hockey, and two of the hottest teams in the NHL at that time, 9-0-1 and 10-2, or sorry, 8-2 for Florida. Now you got Columbus coming in, 4 straight wins, 21 goals scored in those four wins. In the Eastern Conference, they are the 4th highest scoring team behind Washington, Florida, and this Tampa Bay team that they played tonight. You got Tampa minus 170, but it's likely to be Johansson in goal because Vasilevsky started yesterday. So the whole back-to-back. Prez, I can only play this one way and take the over 6.5 in this one. These teams have played twice. The final scores seem like the second set of the women's Wimbledon final, 7-6, 5-3, serving for the match here. Give me over 6.5. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the over is the only way to go here as well. And it, pretty much you could do that blind across the board in any Columbus game. This Columbus Blue Jackets team, 35-23-2 to the over. And they've gone over, they've gone over four of their last 5 games. The one game they didn't go over was a push 5-1 win against Chicago. And this is a team that just scores. I mean, no matter how many shots they get. And Carm, it's so interesting because from a goal per shot perspective, nobody in the league is better than Columbus. This is a team that puts up 21. In the last 4 games, they put up 21 shots on net twice and scored 5 goals both times. That's like a 25% goal percentage against shots. That's unfreaking believable. The problem I have with this game is that Tampa Bay is coming in after they're in a back-to-back situation, and they just played basically arguably the 2 best teams in hockey. They beat Washington 3-1, and then they lost to Tampa Bay 2-1. This is a really horrible spot for Tampa Bay. If I had to take a side here, I would actually lean on Columbus. But given that they're on a 4-game win streak, I don't want to bet into that. So I lean on the over here, Carm, but I am concerned. You know, Tampa Bay, man, all of a sudden, their last 5 games, 2-1-0-1-1. That's 5 goals allowed in their last 5 games. The only way I could bet this is to the over, but it ain't making my card. Hey, did I do good there, Carm? Because you sent out a note saying give opinions even when you don't have any. Did I do good there? Because I clearly don't have an opinion on that game, but I did. I sounded good, right?
Well, yes, you did. I think the note I sent out was the fact that I post the games for the next day's show pretty much an hour after puck time that day is done. So you have 23 hours to look at the 3 games that we're going to talk about. And if you have no opinion on it, you let me know and I will change the game. So the people who faithfully each and every day log in on whichever platform they log into to watch this show are going to get an opinion from everyone on the show on the games that we're discussing. It's the least they deserve each and every day.
Yeah,
So that's
I'm
my
with
point,
you,
Prez.
dude.
But your point against Tampa Bay, listen, Tampa Bay's been on a phenomenal run. There's no discounting
8 in
that.
a row.
If it is Johansson in goal tonight, he hasn't started since January 28th. 11 straight games. He hasn't started for them. It's been Vasilevsky in a role with Vasilevsky. 6-5 is Johansson. 324 goals against average. 892 save percentage. That isn't even a good number for a number two goalie in the NHL. And you talk about Prez, the Toronto Maple Leaf goalies having good numbers. Their save percentages are above 9. I think when you sink below 9, there is a problem with that. So that's one of the reasons why I like the over in this one. Now that could change throughout the day if we see that for some reason they're going to start Vasilevsky in goal again tonight. I got to believe they have to give him a night
Yeah.
off tonight and the second of a back-to-back. That was a physical game yesterday as well too. Not for him, but he had to be sharp that whole game. I think the right play 6.5. All right, here's the one I wanted to talk about. I'm going to get your opinion on something for a second, Prez, because we talked about it on yesterday's show. Colorado at home against Pittsburgh, huge number, minus 275. Plus 225 on Pittsburgh. We're not talking about this game just because of these two teams, because the number makes it so tough to bet this. But from the Sidney Crosby perspective, because I talked to Andrew about this yesterday, does Crosby, after missing the playoffs 2 straight years with Pittsburgh and then getting that taste of the Four Nations, not a lot of the time left in those legs as well too for him. Does he request a trade to a team where has a chance to win a Stanley Cup, which Colorado is, and has prospects that they can ship to Pittsburgh? Because any deal he makes, he wants to make sure that he's protecting the team that he left and has played his entire career with. Do you think Crosby gets moved before the 7th, the trade deadline later this week?
Regretfully, I don't, Carm, and it sucks. You know, watching Crosby play in the Four Nations Cup, it just says this guy needs to be in the playoffs. He needs to be playing meaningful hockey. I mean, he's 37 years old, and he stood out on that ice. He stood out as one of the best players in the world at 37. And yeah, dude, I think he wants to play with Nate as well. But I I want to see it happen. If it does happen, I think it will be to Colorado, but I don't think it will happen. It's amazing what a mess this Pittsburgh Penguins team is. And it's the most amazing thing of all is them hiring Kyle Dubas. Like they sat down and they said, so we're about to transition. We're about to rebuild. Our team is super old. Let's find a general manager who has incredible rebuilding experience. And then they hired Kyle Dubas. Oh my God. Anyway, I don't see it happening, Carm, and it sucks. Personally, I'd like him as a Leaf. I think we could put a nice package together. Fraser Minton, Nick Robertson, 2026 first round draft pick. Shit, dude, I'd give Joseph Wall up for him and sign Stolarz to a long-term contract. So I want to see it happen. I don't think it's going to. What do you think?
I think there's a couple players on Pittsburgh that they could move, but you've got to somehow involve a third team like a San Jose, like a Chicago, that can eat up contract money and get some type of a prospect. So it's looking at what teams like Colorado, the LA Kings, who do have a lot of reserves as far as draft picks go, and what they're willing to give up in order to get a player. LA. It has to be a playoff team. I'm not sure with LA. I actually think I mentioned yesterday. I think LA makes a deal to get Rantanen. So Colorado sends him to Carolina, and Carolina sends him to LA. He's not working out there for
Oof.
this team. So
Horrible.
we'll see how that yeah, we'll see how that goes. But as a short-term rental, just for the rest of the season, and then maybe Sid finishes out one last year in Pittsburgh. We'll see. The kind of like the Marc-Andre Fleury tour, where he played in pretty much every stadium to end his career that ends at the end of this year. Prez, I got to get your play on this one, but I'm going to go with Colorado in this one. I just think the to use a horse racing term, the Pittsburgh Penguins have spit the bit at the top of the stretch. They're done. They're 3 points ahead of the Buffalo Sabres for last place overall. They could be whatever they are, 7 points out of a playoff spot, but they've got like 6 teams to leapfrog. It's not going to happen for this team. I'm going to take Colorado first period, minus a half, plus 115. They're not a great first period team, Colorado. I've mentioned it before, but this is a spot where I think I'm going to take the plus money with them. It's more that I think Pittsburgh is done. Pittsburgh plays Colorado tonight. They play the Vegas Golden Knights. They play Minnesota, and then they head back home to play the Vegas Golden Knights again. This team is toast. So give me Colorado first period. What about you?
Carm, I think that Colorado first period bet makes a lot of sense. Plus, you're getting plus money on it. I love that bet. I like Colorado as well tonight, minus 1.5. And I also like over the total. But full disclosure, Carm, I'm looking to bet Pittsburgh over the total till the end of the season. Why the hell not? I mean, this team just can't keep the puck out of their net. Listen to this, dude. Toronto put up 6, Boston 3, Philadelphia 4. Philadelphia 6, Rangers 5, Washington 8. That's their last 6 games, bro. Three of their last 6 games, their opponent put up 6 alone on them. 5 of their last 6 games, their opponent put up 4 or more. And it's not like Pittsburgh can't score. They just put 5 on Toronto, 5 on Philadelphia. They are shooting a lot. I mean, this is a team that is regularly shooting more than 30 times a night. I like the over better here, but I like your bet, and I like Colorado minus 1.5. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see around a 6-3 hockey game.
Well, I'm fine with that. Pittsburgh Penguins on the road, 31 games. They've only had the lead after 20 minutes in 6 of them. They've trailed in 13 of those games. They've been tied in 12 of those. So I don't mind taking the plus money here, and hopefully Colorado gets off to a quick start. They have been playing better of late as they're starting to put some space between them and those wild card spots. It was pretty dicey for a little while, even though you figure they're going to make the playoffs. But now they're making a move up the standings, and we'll see if that continues tonight against Pittsburgh. It's showing right now Blackwood and Nedeljkovic, but there's a couple other sites that are showing Jari as well too. So we'll see who the starter is. I don't think it makes a difference as far as Pittsburgh goes. 2 very tough games for them. The Bruins game and the Leafs game. I just feel like they left it on the ice in both of those games. Played their best hockey and still ended up with a couple losses. And when that happens, it's never a good thing. Guys, just a reminder, hit that subscribe button. Almost 200,000 subscribers on the channel and growing each and every day. We appreciate you guys always tuning in. A lot of actionable info. The Prez at the top of the hour doing WagerTalk today, and some great guests on that as well too. A lot of free play videos that get posted. So hit that notification button as well too and be alerted to it. And of course, it's a $5 Tuesdays at WagerTalk, Customer Appreciation Day. You can get plays from as many cappers as you want, $5 each, and there's some great promos within those packages. Prez, give us a show best bet winner, and let us know what you have up at WagerTalk.
Yes, sir. Okay, so my show best bet winner is Calgary and Philadelphia under the total of 5.5. Now, I understand that at some point this Calgary team is going to break out, Carm, but as of now, I'm not going to just sit there and assume it's going to be today. This Calgary team has scored 1 goal in 3 games, 1 goal in 3 games. But conversely, this team has allowed 11 goals against in 5 games. That's really good defensively and really bad offensively. Philadelphia, I understand, is scoring, but they only put up 2 in their last game. They're not a scoring juggernaut by nature. They had a sort of 3-game window where they put up 16 goals. That's behind them now. I like the under in the Calgary-Philadelphia game, and I like it a lot. Carm, it's Customer Appreciation Day, as we've spoken about. I have a play up that's really must bet. Last Tuesday, I had a 4% play. These 4% plays are very rare for me. You know, we talk about the 5% play a lot. I almost never have a 5% play. I almost never have 4% plays. Basically, 90% of all my plays are 3. So I have a 4% play up tonight. I absolutely love this play. I'm on an 8-2 run in 4% plays, but more importantly, I've won my last 3 hockey bets. I'm on a 7-2 hockey run, a 33-16 hockey run, and I'm the number 1 most profitable expert in NHL this year. So for $5, I would assume it to be prudent and financially excellent to grab my $5 pick and bet my play tonight. Thanks for having me, dude. Lots coming up on WagerTalk today, 12 o'clock Eastern. Make sure to check me and the team out there.
Don't go anywhere, Prez, because I'm actually going to get you to close off the show and let us know who is coming at the top of the hour, who you have on as guests. Guys, as I mentioned, and we've mentioned over and over again, it's $5 Tuesdays. I have a 4% play up. Yesterday's 4% play was an easy winner with the Ottawa Washington over 5.5, 9-goal thriller in that one. A pretty exciting one with Washington winning it in OT. I've got a promo up. You can use the promo code ICE100. ICE100 will get you $100 off the rest of the regular season and NHL playoffs. So that is a great deal. That is valid for the next 48 hours. ICE100 to get that deal over on my page at WagerTalk. My free play, I'm going to go back to that Tampa game. I like this play. It is also a 2% client play, and I have it up on the WagerTalk site as a free play as well too. So we might as well mention it here. I'm taking over 6.5, 7-6 and 5-3. 2 prior meetings between these 2 teams. If it's Johansson in goal, he hasn't played since January 28th. Not the greatest goals against average, not the greatest save percentage, and a Columbus team that is scoring some goals. Hopefully both contribute and we get over that total. So really appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that show today at the top of the hour.
Oh, Moti, Carm, we got a cricket guy now over at WagerTalk. You can buy his picks. He's coming on. We're in the middle of the ICC championship, which is a big, big, big T50 cricket event. And man, this guy has given out nothing but winners. This is his 3rd Tuesday on the show. He is exceptional. And I understand people don't want to hear about cricket. Why? We give out money. Andy Lang after him and Gianni the Greek tend the show. And in regards to NHL, every day I go down every single game on the board. So you will get my thoughts on every NHL game on the board as well. Guys, hit that like button for Carm. He does an outstanding job. Carm, thanks for having me, brother. I really love doing this. I will not be on PuckTime for a while. My humble apologies. This is my last show until the first week of April, Carm, although maybe we can slide me in somewhere. And lastly, March 31st will be day 1 of my new show. And it is an NHL show. And I'm very, very excited about it. Carm knows about it. And we're going to cross promote with PuckTime as well. Carm and Andrew will make appearances on my new show, as I will on theirs. It is with a big-time NHL athlete, ex-NHL player, and we'll get into all that information a little later. But March 31st, the Prez has his own NHL show starting.
There you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. For myself, Prez, and Dan Alexander, our producer. We will see you tomorrow when Don Buster is in the guest chair and Andrew McInnes hopefully returns from his upper body injury. We don't need to put him on LTIR. We've gone full circle. We'll see you tomorrow.